it's how you connect with your clients and what you bring out in them, like their passions. It's the way you get them to tell their story. It's the way you get them to tell why they're passionate about building this and what their ideas are and how they can distribute it and how they can find strategic partners. I feel like right now it's all about the execution. You already have most of these tools to execute. You just need to figure out how you're going to distribute it.
Welcome to Tech Talks. My name's Skyler Simmons. Here we have Ridhi Tatineni. Second time. Welcome.
Thank
Why
you.
don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I came to Boise like 5 years ago. I was at a tech startup that was contracting for a pretty big company in town. And I came as like a fresh grad who has experience in data analysis and software engineering. And I was like, what can what do I have in Boise for me? And I was like, okay, I'll give it 6 months and let's see what happens. Fast forward to 5 years, I realized what a great community Boise is, and I decided to stay. So my background was heavily in software development, uh, product management later on, and then my entire career I was in startups, and I realized I thrived. I loved how we were close knit. We were all looking at vision, at all the visions we had, and um, essentially growing towards that together. I was at a startup that grew and did very well, and I was like, okay, let's see what Boise has, right? I decided to stay, and I started Chelo, which is a product studio that basically empowers startups or non-tech business owners to take their idea from zero to launch.
And so the idea of Cello, I mean, obviously working in startups played a part in having that vision that there was a need in the community for something like that. But what was the moment that you knew it was going to be a business for you?
So in the last few months that I was in my previous job, I was heavily involved in just going over to small business fairs and events just because my friends were business owners and I really saw them thrive in this community. There was something about Boise and the businesses here that thought that made me think, oh wow, like these people are really like community oriented and uh, they love their businesses and they're trying to find some ways to bring in tools or digital platforms that are going to make their business grow and scale. But then I realized talking to them, because I was a software engineer then, I realized talking to them that they didn't have the, I guess, the resources or the people to talk to. Or maybe it was just me being in that environment, talking to businesses, going from healthcare to like, I don't know, skincare studios or like fitness studios. And that was just very organic. I was just in that community. And so I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like everybody's super excited about tech, and they're super excited to use it. And I loved the small business community, and I was like, this is really interesting. And I loved hearing about the problems that they had, and I loved figuring out a way in my own time to help them, whether it's talking them through their problems and figuring out solutions and just brainstorming with them. Not that I was working on any projects with them, but it was just fun.
Yeah.
And they were all very receptive and they were super excited to go and like get coffee and just figure out what they could do to change the systems in their businesses.
Yeah. Do you find it hard to separate your software engineer self in those conversations and view it more from a small business perspective? What is that like for you?
So thankfully, because of the people that I was surrounded with at that time, I got a real good view into how a business owner thinks. I was not a business owner back then.
Hmm.
I understood how they created their systems, their processes, and like consider me as just somebody who was just sitting in the room, just a fly on the wall, and just listening to all these people. So they were just having conversations, and I think that really gave me the confidence to understand like what a business owner wants at the same time, and actually hook my software engineering brain to solve those problems. So it was a really good balance. I was out there in the community, but at the same time, I was doing my software engineering role, and it was just like a really good culmination of everything that I was experiencing at that time. And that's when I realized, oh gosh, I would love to help these businesses grow. And I want to help them do it fast because like time is money for everybody, right? Especially for small businesses.
Yeah.
So I use the word cello a lot, which means let's go. So I was like, cello, cello, everybody, or something like that.
Is that
And
Hindi?
yes.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like such a common word that I use. And it ties very well to what I want to do and the movement that I want to create
Yeah.
in the community. So that's how I named it. And I wanted it to be a lab of some sorts to help people just come and like brainstorm, discover what their ideas were. So many people have had ideas for years. And the only barrier to getting them launched was the tech.
Mm.
Right now, we're in an age where, because of AI or because of some other tools, everything is accessible. We go to, I don't know, ChatGPT and ask some marketing questions or something, and we could go to Base 44 or Lovable or Natively and figure out, okay, this is what I want to build. And we build it in a few hours,
Yeah.
and it was never possible. Um, so, with the tools that we have at our disposal and these busy people who want to change their systems, I mean, I was like, this is such a great time to be here in the Valley as well.
Absolutely. So, how is Cello utilizing AI, the rise of AI? How are the businesses that you're working with utilizing it, and do those things play well together, or do you find there's gaps or conflicts that come up?
So, Cello was born at a time when AI was new,
Mhm.
so we adapted fairly quickly. Uh, when I first founded it, it was just me, and it was me and my uh, mentor at the time, and a couple of other like engineers that I knew, and all of us were into experimenting. We were all uh, just waiting for the next tool to come out, or like making sure that we use this tool to the extent to its maximum capacity. So from the get go, we were a team that really embraced it. So every time a new tool came out like Cursor or I don't know, Claude or any kind of coding tool that came out, we embraced it very quickly.
Mhm.
We um, wanted to see how it was useful for us, and then we were like, okay, let's take on a challenge. So that's what we did in the last few months. We took on a challenge to make 30 apps in 90 days.
My.
And it's a small team, but it was fun. Because that's how amazing uh, AI and the other tools are. And
Yeah.
AI is just a tool too, right? But we wanted to try everything out, and we were like, okay, how can we come back and really excel in this mission uh, and speed up the process?
Mhm.
Yes, I understand discovery is the majority of it, right? It's the most important portion of any product. You want to clarify what you're building because the tools are there to build it right now.
Yeah.
That is no longer a barrier. So when I went to these businesses, I was happy to see that they were at least embracing AI, because people had some fears and they didn't want it to get to know much about them or their business. But then they adopted. And those tools don't really conflict with what I do, because mine are more like, okay, tools to help make our processes productive. And their tools are like for marketing or advertising, coming up with copy, coming up with email copy, etc. Right? So it didn't really conflict. It actually balanced out really well, and they are very complementary.
Yeah. So I have to imagine you said 30 apps in 90 days.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
We have a
work.
few more left. That's till the end of the year, though.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Um, I I'm non-technical in background. I come from a sales background, and before that, I think I was in public relations when I graduated college. So my movement into this industry has been all learning, just drinking through a fire hose for 5 years, pretty much. And what's cool and fun about it is actually that you never really catch up because things change so fast with technology, and AI is the perfect example of that. It's like, oh, started to get this figured out. No, let's completely change it, how we do things, the processes. But it's so much fun. Um, Being a software engineer to start, I feel like probably gives you a bit of context that's necessary to truly utilize AI to do some powerful things. And I'm curious, does that translate well when you're working with a company who maybe doesn't have that context? Because AI can do some pretty amazing things, and yet there are gaps. Like there's a human aspect. You don't build software for AI, you build software for people. And so there's there's things that haven't caught up or that AI may not ever figure out, right? And so what does that look like for you? Is having that technical background, knowing how to utilize AI and fill in those gaps as a software engineer versus the companies that you work with they have the tools available and yet they're still a missing piece. What does that look like?
So for me, I got the experience of being in the shoes of a product manager at the company that I was with. And that company too really molded me into the person that I am today, both morals wise and just like professionally, personally, everything. I think I was surrounded by really good people,
Yeah.
and they taught me a lot about just like being professional, and also having a fun life, and great, it was awesome. So during that time, they had given me the opportunity to become like a product manager, and that opportunity at that point, when we were going from V0 to V1, it really put things into perspective for me. Like I was able to talk to the user experience designer and the domain expert and um, the user. And so I I was able to understand everybody's thought processes, including the clients, which is the most important.
Hmm.
And me being the software engineer there and the product manager at the time
Yeah.
for just that project, right? I wanted to give it a try, and I was so thankful for that opportunity. That really put things in place for me, in the sense that I was now able to not just talk about the software engineering part of it. I knew how to talk to a client, and I knew how to really um, not include software engineering terms,
Yeah. Yeah.
make it easy for people to understand. And I realized, like, from other people telling me as well, like, you cannot talk tech always. Like, you need to make it very easy to understand, use friendly terms, not overwhelm people with, this algorithm, that algorithm, nothing. Just talk. How do you get from point A to point B in the most simplest and um, understanding terms, and make it like a story, right? So I think that experience was a game changer for me. And teamed with this immediate experience of like talking to small businesses, and that's when I realized, wow, I cannot talk tech to anybody. Like I need to just understand what their problem is and then figure out the tech later, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to solve this problem? That was what I wanted to figure out. And just a culmination of all these experiences, it allowed me to figure out, okay, this person needs design, or this person needs to be talking in design. Okay, this person needs to be, they just need to be telling me what their business problem is. Software engineers have, we need to talk to them about like front end, back end, figure out the tech stack there. Uh, yeah, that's kind of how I figured it all out. Does that
Yeah,
answer your
totally.
question? Yeah.
I mean, the at In Time Tech, I say that we solve business problems. We don't
Right.
necessarily solve technology problems, and that's for me in the business development space. That's often the challenge. Is like if you talk about technical solutions, you often lose people immediately
Right.
because those things don't translate. When someone's struggling financially as a business, and all they see is that something within their finances isn't working, and yet there could be technology at the root of that problem. And so part of the fun thing is really exploring, getting into their world and understanding, okay, let's dive in, let's understand, is it fulfillment issue, is it a production issue, is it uh, something else within that process, is there technology involved in those spaces, is there a lack of technology that maybe is the bottleneck, right? And for me, that's like one of the most fun and challenging things is like we're a technology company, and yet we don't necessarily need to speak a technology language when you're working with people, because problems people face and solve with technology often have nothing to do with technology.
Hmm.
But at the root, there are things that they can utilize, things that they can implement that will solve those problems. And that part's really exciting, especially when you're able to deliver something and they've been struggling with an issue, and you get to see their business scale from a solution that you've implemented. And that part's very exciting. But to your point, it's not necessarily a technical conversation, and technical conversations certainly don't always lead to like where you need to go. So
Hmm.
it's part of the fun.
Yeah. There has been a lot of excitement around AI and how everybody wanted to put AI into their products, right? But it's not necessary all the time.
No.
Sometimes it's just an automation. Sometimes it's just programming. Sometimes it's just like simple, like other simple tools. Uh, so I'm really glad everybody's over that. And like deciding, okay, I think I need some intelligence here. So let me just put it in just where it's necessary.
Yeah. So working with small businesses, startups, and otherwise, especially within a community that small businesses have big problems often. They're even even small issues can be magnified at certain scales, right? And and when they see those problems, they often see very complex solutions. So how do you work with companies to identify like what we call an MVP? And how do you help them manage those kind of scale down their their ideas to something that can truly be beneficial but doesn't get too big and hairy to where it becomes a problem to actually implement?
That's a great question. So, with everybody that I've spoken to in the last 2 years, like we talked about, everybody has ideas, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to create something, and that's awesome. Like for the community, for the economy, everything, right? But then these ideas, they add up. Like in our speak, features add up, and they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Feature A, B, C, D, and then it sounds like a really big app in their head. But then I ask them questions. It's all about discovery, right? What is the pain point that you want to solve? And sometimes asking that question, you don't get the answer.
Yeah.
So you don't ask that question.
Mhm.
But then you figure out, okay, what do you think your users need? How have you seen this problem surface? What are the behaviors that you notice that people uh, exhibit qualities where you think the solution would fit in? And well, they usually say, okay, 10 out of like 15 people, which is a big percentage, do this. Nobody really says those numbers, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like they have noticed these patterns in the way their target audience behave, and then they're like, okay, I want to create a feature for that as well. But sometimes that feature might not be the top feature, right?
Sure.
Sometimes that might not even solve the problem. So for me, it's just like having like an hour-long conversation, and then I realize, I think, as I ask those questions and I let them speak because they're so excited, first of all, and I love to see the excitement in their eyes. And they have maybe 10 ideas, right? 10 features that could form like a product. But then I think in that conversation, I realized, oh, okay, so this is the problem that they want to solve. And then we talk about it. I'm like, okay, putting everything aside, how can your user get from point A to point B? What is your solution? Oh, okay, I just want my users to be able to, um, you know, buy like a product without. I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without exposing all the ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
But we realized through a 1 hour conversation that, okay, this is what I want to build. But then even before that, have you validated that idea? How have you seen this show up in your user base, right? So why don't we create an exercise out of this? Why don't you go do something for free, in the sense that create a free tool, right? It's not even a tool. It could just be as simple as a group thread where people like converse and you put questions out there. It's not even about the questions. It's not like a survey. I'm saying figure out a way to do this manually and see what works for a bit, like, validate your idea. Um, and then come back and then we can talk about what features we could work on. But thankfully right now we we don't have to wait for weeks to validate an idea, right? We don't have to go through like Figma designs. We still can once you figure out what the main idea is, right? But we have all these tools that can help us prototype in hours.
Yeah.
And so that takes down all your validation time. So if you could build that and just publish it to your user base and put some like analytics widget or some code on it and figure out what your paths are and what people are taking, you can put all your ideas down and it takes a few hours to build it. And then you'll realize, oh, wow, people are taking path B versus path A or path C. So this is where I should go.
Yeah.
This is my next step. And that I feel right now with these tools, you can create your MVPs faster. Yes, it does take time to discover what you want, but you can do that with these tools right now. So all your ideas, you can put it on this tool. Yes, it might not scale. It will not to a certain point, you can take it, right? But then after that, you'll at least know what your users want.
You validate a solution for a real problem that you're having.
Yes.
Yeah. We often start with MVPs. That's a great way as a services organization for us to get involved, and yet identifying that MVP can be difficult.
Right.
As an example, we're utilizing AI in many spaces right now, but we built a tool that provides predictive analysis for companies that manage inventory,
Mm.
and our MVP is that predictive analysis. And so often when we have those conversations with companies, they come in, they're like, okay, so I want to know, you know, I want to know what's going to be ordered and this many days in advance, and I want to maintain this much inventory, and I want it to populate my order forms and submit the orders automatically, and then I want it to communicate with my distributors and all these things. And it's like, okay, so the real pain point here is that you want predictive analysis and you want to have more accuracy in your orders. Is that right? And it's like, yes.
Yes.
It's like, okay, let's start there.
Yes.
And let's get your data. Let's make sure that your data is usable. Let's actually plug it into the algorithm and spit out some results, and then start doing checks and making sure that the algorithm is actually giving you what you need. Because if it's not, then you're building something on top of nothing, and you're going to have something broken, right? So there's always that game of going back and forth and not tempering expectations, because you can fulfill the wildest expectations, but you have to make sure that it's built on top of something valuable.
Yeah.
And something that's truly producing a solution that is solving a core issue. So,
Mhm.
um, It's a lot of fun, and it's really
Yeah.
hard sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it definitely feels very fulfilling to be able to see their ideas gain some kind of a, um, at least it moved from like the idea phase to the prototype phase. And they're super excited to take that and uh, have people use it. So I think that's what I'm uh, really empowering people to do right now. Saying it's okay, don't fear, just like put your ideas out there, and it's about how you execute it too, right?
Yeah,
We were talking about the human aspect. That discovery can never be, I don't know, I don't think it can be done by AI. I mean, it's just like human to human connection.
yeah,
It's how you connect with your clients and what you bring out in them, like their passions. It's the way you uh, get them to tell their story. It's the way you get them to tell us why they're passionate about building this and what their ideas are and how they can distribute it and how they can find strategic partners. Um, I feel like right now it's all about the execution. It's like how well can you execute? And for tech startups, yeah, that's an important thing, right? But for business owners too, they already have their clients. For them, it's about how uh, again, I guess it's how you build it. But
mhm,
what I'm saying is for tech startups, you already have most of these tools to execute. You just need to figure out how you're gonna distribute it. That's like the only thing that's left. And that's human again.
for sure.
Those are human to human relationships that cannot be replaced.
You don't build you don't build technology for AI. You don't build technology. You build technology for people, right? Like,
Right.
and so there's always going to be an aspect where AI is great about, you know, how you do something or providing the answer to what, but the why and
Hmm.
that kind of human connection that's required to build something valuable,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get a great response from a machine, right? And
Right.
so, and ultimately, for businesses to be successful, they have to have strong relationships with their customer base, and I mean,
You
you
need to
can
be able to talk to your customer to
you
be
can
able
have a
to, yeah.
relationship with AI, but
Yeah.
I don't know how healthy that is,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes. And when you're testing out your app with somebody, right? This is my favorite part. When I put my product out in front of users, I love seeing the way they behave, not what they say. um, what are they doing on the app? And these things you can see and you can figure out and you can ask questions and you can, build upon that connection that you already have with your client. That to me is very precious. I love the discovery process and I love the testing process. And everything else is like, okay, we can build it out, right? We have excellent tools available. But I think that's what I'm trying to incorporate into Cello as well. Like fully like, connection first almost. Like
yeah,
uh how can we take your passion, your frustration and turn it into something that's valuable that can help your customers all through like a human relationship that's nurtured. And I think you guys do a really good job at that as well.
thank you.
Just your entire company is really um, helpful in building the community here as well.
Yeah, and I mean that's the fun of being in business development, and is that I get to be out in the community
Yeah.
talking with people and building relationships. Um, and I think what's great about Boise in general is that, you know, we're not the biggest tech hub in the world, but we are a tech hub, like, and it's a really solid community, and there's so many passionate people that are doing incredible things, and so it makes it just really rewarding to be in a space that's like we're not saturated, right? We're growing,
Hmm.
we're blossoming as a tech community, and it's really fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the main reasons why I decided to stay back. So many people ask me, like, why Boise, Ridhi? Like, you should move to San Francisco or Seattle. It's a popular question.
Yeah,
But uh, this is where I'm able to be um, like in a place where I can connect with people. And that connection can help our city and our state grow as well.
yeah,
Uh, and people are so nice. They're so easy to talk to, and they're ready to collaborate in business or any other like activities or anything. So I I felt like it was a really safe and fun place to do any kind of business and help each other. You know, tech companies helping non-tech companies prosper and grow and succeed. So I enjoy building in Boise.
What do you feel is next for Cello?
See what kind of tech is coming in, and that'll help me figure out what people need.
Mm,
Um, right now, I'm in a really good place where the market tells me what to do,
yeah.
and it, it's quite small where I can pivot and change directions. But right now, it's like, okay, how can I make this a lab where people can come and truly grow?
Yeah.
It's a small movement that's growing. I'm excited to see what other ideas I get from this experience.
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea of not only being a an inspiration to non-technical companies to utilize technology, but also providing the space and like the avenues to do so effectively and successfully. What are some things that maybe you've seen in our community that you're like, oh, don't do that? Like, what are those things that companies should stay away from? And I'm kind of thinking of like in the non-technical aspect, they see all of these tools, all of these things around, and there's so many options to like to build solutions or try different things on, and yet not everything is going to work for
Mm.
companies. And I'm just curious if you ran into anything where you like, let's walk it back and start from the beginning because this isn't working.
Small businesses, their main issue is budget.
Mm,
So they really, really think about what they need to purchase, what kind of subscription they need to get on whatever tool they need.
yeah,
But sometimes when you're in the growth stage, you're like, okay, I love that tool, and you start buying, right? So there's a time when you're super conservative with where you put your like budget, and when you begin to grow, you're like buying all these tools, and I sometimes see all these tools conflicting with each other,
yes, okay,
and they don't work well together, and it just becomes a massive tech stack. You're like, you're using this for that, and then that for this, and like you're not completely able to use one tool for what it gives you.
yeah.
And people are like, well, yeah, we need something custom, but
I
this is
needed
what we
this
can
feature
do.
of this application. I needed that
That
feature
feature
of
of that
that. Yeah,
application. And then they like copy paste and stuff, which is fine. But then when you go into like a growth stage, when you go into growth stage, you, you don't want to waste that time to like cut, copy,
sure,
paste. So that's when I'm like, okay, what do you like from all of these tools? And how do all of these tools help in your process,
Mhm.
whether it's for marketing, operations, anything
Finance.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
um, and so that's when we go like, okay, wow, this is a very big tech stack, so tell me what you like in all of this, and then let's start there, and then let's see how we can automate any of these processes. And that's what like na10 or make.com are
hmm
really useful for. I mean, I love how people can just like create some simple automations from the tools that they have. I mean, if you have APIs for the tools that they're using, just put them on this automation. So I feel like people should really recognize what features they want, and that's it's a great start from what they have, in the sense that they have these tools, they already know that it's working. But sometimes when you go towards like a custom design, I don't want you to be too favorable to just one tool. Like, figure out, if you have some budget, figure out how um, similar tools are working, and come up with like one straight flow. Like, test around.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't be too comfortable just with the way one tool works. Like, go and test other tools. Get exposed to things that are in the market, because that will really allow you to frame your business problem very clearly. It'll give you so many more ideas as to how other people are working. Yes, it might lead to you spending some money initially, but it will save you a lot later
I
on.
mean, if it means that that's the difference between scaling your business and not,
Yes.
then a little bit of extra money goes a much longer way than if you don't think about it ahead of time, right?
Absolutely. And you exploring tools will give you so many more ideas on how you can run your business. It helps you to stay relevant. It helps you to explore technologies that weren't there when you got another tool like 5 years ago. Every day it's changing.
I mean, I don't want people to think too heavily about this because that brings us a lot of business.
But
But no, it's
yeah.
such a good point, right? It's the I guess I would call it an architecture mindset
Yeah.
where you think about something more holistically rather than a specific pain point. It's like that's a pain point, but it's attached to a much bigger issue that can be solved through thinking about something holistically versus, oh, it hurts here and it hurts here.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is, before you decide what your custom internal tool should be, just like see what's out there, talk to other business owners in the same industry, see what they're doing, and
Yeah.
then like come up with a tool of your own, because that helps you define your MVP better too. Um, they're more clear on what features they want, as opposed to like thinking about all these other things that they think would add to their final tool.
For sure.
I guess just explore a little bit, because we're in the space where most tools are free nowadays.
Yeah.
And then you can build your own custom tool. Like a lot of people want custom things because it works well for their business, and uh, automations that help them reduce the time it takes to do, I don't know, 16 hours of payroll
Yeah.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you can reduce it down to 2, and if you have tools that work and some business processes inside, then come to us and we'll figure it out. Like that's the automation that we want to help you with.
Yeah. That's a lot of time back.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of time, a lot of efficiency.
Yeah. And a lot of time for them to use to grow their businesses in other departments.
They have focus less on technology and more on people.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Very cool. What are you using AI for in your personal life right now?
Well, to build prototypes.
Lots of prototypes.
Lots. That's been fun. I love it because we use it for marketing, honestly. I was somebody who was really camera shy, and it really helped me like figure out what I want to say and how I want Chelo to be shown or like presented in front of everybody. I took a lot of time to step out um, into any social media platform.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't write this post. I mean, I had my own way to express it, and I think it really helped me because it's like, okay, the easiest thing is like, okay, get 3 copies of some kind of post that you want to make, and just pick one, right? And pick one that sounds most true to you.
Yeah, for sure.
And your tone. So definitely marketing. And recently, I've been toying around with creating videos. Like my video editing time has gone down significantly, so there are great tools for that.
Yeah.
And then automations, in the sense that at one point I was a one-person team, apart from the development and design team.
Yeah.
One person for admin, sales, everything, right? So how can I streamline that? And Anatan was great for that. It took some time for me to figure it out, but it's not that hard, honestly.
I actually have an email in my inbox with an innate invitation, and I just need to accept it and start building some stuff.
Yes. I'm telling you, it cut down so much of my time and I'm actually enjoying it. Like there's so many things that are in my inbox
Mm.
in the sense that ready to go, draft,
Yeah.
you know. And most of them are like me. I mean, I do sit down and figure out what my tone is and everything and how I
Yeah.
want to be shown, how I want Chelo to be shown everywhere. But like marketing, operations for
Okay.
me. Yeah.
What is there anything, uh, for lack of a better term, what's cringy about AI right now?
That people really want to use it everywhere. It's not
Tell me
necessary.
what you mean.
um, like we were talking about earlier, right? Everybody wants to put AI in their product. Sometimes it's not needed,
Yeah.
right? Uh, images. Oh my gosh, like it's like everybody's saying, "Oh gosh, that's AI. That's an AI video. That's an AI picture." Um, I feel like I'm gonna really miss authentic pictures and videos, and I think that's going to be really valuable coming up. um okay, talking babies.
Talking babies?
It's cute, but it's like, okay, talking like, toddlers, or not even toddlers, they're like, oh, it's just like,
Kind of freaks me out.
it kind of freaks me out. I think that's the main reason behind it. um
I guess, I mean, to your point, you're getting to this point where unnatural things are becoming almost natural and it feels weird,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. There was a point where I really loved AI art.
Mm.
There's this one digital creator, his uh, Instagram is J Prince. And when his videos came out, they were mostly about scuba dive adventures, essentially.
Okay.
So his videos were all about having these Hindu idols underwater, and then he would like be the diver, or like there would be a diver diving down deep sea, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that real? Like, how have I not known about this cool diving spot? Because
Yeah.
I'm a scuba diver,
Okay.
and I was like, how, that is really cool. AI.
Yeah.
See, for those kind of things, I think it's really cool because it enables us to visualize old historical scripts and stories in a cool way. Like we would have never seen any of this,
Yeah.
right? And it would take so much time to produce any of these movies. But we're able to see them just because of the things that were written in the past, the stories that were written in the past, and we're able to visually see them. So that's really cool. I know you asked me about what's cringy, but
Yeah.
I took the same images idea essentially, but there's like a flip side to it, which is these cool videos. I would have never really seen, okay, how was the Indian subcontinent during the Indus Valley civilization time? I would have never known
Yeah.
if these videos weren't there.
For sure.
So I like it for the most part.
I I am finding my brain automatically, like, if I pick up on something kind of unnatural, I'm starting to like register AI. And in some cases, when it's not when it's not sparking imagination or like creativity or something in my mind that's attracting me towards it, I automatically shut it off. So
Hmm.
like I've gotten to a point where um if I see a video and it's getting really hard to tell,
Yes.
but it's like I'm making a quick judgment of, do I want to consume this media or not? And so I think that might be, we could get to a point soon, and we don't need to go too far down this rabbit hole, but like we could get to a point where like we see things go away. And I think of like LinkedIn content is one for me, where if it seems too AI generated, if there's not enough personalization or personality behind it, it's like, at what point are we just using AI to talk to AI? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back to like that human interaction is the root behind all of this, is to help us be more efficient and spend our time connecting with people. But it also, there's that possibility of it kind of
taking over every part of our lives. And
degrading these relationships as well.
right, and taking away the personalities that we have. So that's why I think I prefer like in person or like video calls over like anything nowadays. Like if you can uh put yourself on a, I guess, on a video and just like talk to me,
Yeah.
and like, because I want to know you for who you are, um uh, and the experiences and the stories that make you who you are, right? I think that's what you're talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
LinkedIn content, if you can personalize it in the sense that put your story behind the post,
Of
like
course.
why, how did this affect you personally, and why are you saying this? um
I mean, there's automations out there right now where you literally don't need to be on LinkedIn at all. It just
yeah.
it comments for you, it posts for you, it does all these things, and it's like there's some there's some cool factor to that. It's like especially in the sales space, right?
Yeah.
You 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 want to be on LinkedIn. You want to
Yeah.
see what people are up to. You want to see what companies are up to. It's a good source of information, and yet um, too much of that, and it could become less useful, could become
Yeah.
less authentic.
Yeah, I think that's when you pick up the phone and say, "Hey,
Yeah,
yeah, can we have a chat?"
yeah, for sure,
But
absolutely.
sales-wise, I think it definitely helps because I've been there as well, and it takes a lot of time to just like make write messages. In the sense, like I'm not doing that with my personal and professional contacts, but uh, I mean, I understand. I don't do cold outreach as well, but I understand the people who do, and
Yeah,
it's really time consuming. And then once you get a message in your inbox, again, maybe you can actually pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I know there's an issue with your account. Uh, let's get straight to it." So I really like the hybrid approach where uh, people explain their problem on an AI chatbot, and then somebody picks up on the other phone and on the other side of the line, and then they actually help you out with it. So that to me is really good customer service because you're immediately figuring out what the problem is, and then you're channeling it to the person who can solve it, and then there's still like human on the other side.
yeah,
I mean, I've spoken to some business owners, and sometimes they just don't want AI chatbots answering the phone. They're like, please don't. Like, our whole business is so human. We don't want to lose that aspect of it.
yeah,
And so I appreciate that. So that's really good feedback for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is my mission too. Like, I want your business to feel as um, true to you as possible because every business owner has their own personality and that personality comes through their business.
yeah,
And I don't want them to lose touch of that. I want them to be as authentic as they are, but actually help them use the tools that can help automate their processes a little better so they get their time back to build more of their business. I think it's a positive cycle, but used in the right
yeah. Of
places. Yeah.
course, the I guess an example of how it can be beneficial is those places where like there's redundancy,
Mm-hmm.
where it even becomes painful for humans to do those things, right? Like there's I think about like the hospital system here in Boise and everywhere really, but like checking insurance or having all the going to a doctor and always having to fill out like that gigantic form of the same questions, and like there's these certain redundant things where people really don't need to be involved.
Yes,
You know what
or
I mean?
papers also, right?
Right, right,
Like,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually helping out a business in town that's reducing their payroll time essentially. Like, we we noticed they spend a lot of time on payroll, and they already figured it out. I was like, why don't you go use like Google Workspace, for example,
Hmm.
and that really helps because you can open it wherever you want. Zapier is really good with figuring out those connections, those
Yeah.
triggers, and that actually reduced their time. I mean, it was just a suggestion. That wasn't when we were actually implementing something with them,
Yeah.
but that was like, hey, listen, why don't you go try this kind of a thing before we even go to something more custom, and that reduced their time from like 16 hours to like at least like 10. So
Yeah.
that's like pretty good, right? Just from a suggestion, they
That's
figured it
huge.
out, right?
Yeah.
Um, and now we're like, okay, from one touch point, how can your from from when the client walks in to when your employees get paid, like how can we figure out they have some blockages in their system that force them to do some things manually, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like maybe you can just keep that manual, which is awesome because that ensures trust, that ensures reliability, and automate everything else. So we're super excited, and we checked out a few tools that they liked, and we're like, okay, that's what I want. And that significantly reduces their cost as well. Cost of paying to these tools, 100 tools compared to like 20 or like whatever. They use like maybe 10, and
Yeah.
then they can use 2 instead along with their custom tool. So again, coming back to how AI can help these small businesses, they know their problems already. Sometimes they don't, but like most people kind of understand where the pain points are. But these AI tools really help them to get there initially, to test it out to some extent, and then they can scale. So I feel like they can really feel empowered at this point. And then like um, people like I don't know, companies like In Time Tech or Chelo or some other product and services company can help, take them
Next
to the
level.
yeah to
Yeah.
the finish line. Yeah.
I like kind of where you were headed with that, in the sense that AI, especially for small businesses, it's required to be service focused, right? Like when you're just getting going and you're only at a certain scale, it's that people interaction that truly makes your business special. It's
Mm-hmm.
how you treat your customers. It's how they interact with you and your service or your product. Um, and and so AI is the perfect place in that it allows you to do more of that, or at least that's how it should be utilized, right? You automate the things that take up a lot of your time that where you could be spending building relationships with your customer base. And in that way, I think it's incredibly powerful for small businesses because building relationships is going to be far more effective than trying to automate your entire process, especially if you're automating through the parts where you actually get to build relationships with your customers, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, super to me, that's like the critical aspect of utilizing technology to enhance how we build relationships with each other rather than simply making everything easier.
Right. I want to, like, the way I've designed everything in the back end for me is like, I want to spend like time with the people,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just do something where that whole automation just starts, right? And then it gets me back my time. Like instead of going to this tool and then doing this and then that tool and doing that, and then I don't know, like in thankfully with like meeting notes and everything, it's been much easier, and it's
Yeah.
been helping anybody to really focus on the conversation as opposed to like quickly writing notes or like uh, that's been great. But then uh, as one person figuring out multiple departments, it really helped me look at this huge like this huge automation. We're like, oh my gosh, like I've just offloaded all of these tasks. So I was on a panel yesterday, and one of the ladies, she was saying that we should look at AI as like just an employee, but all the monotonous tasks that people don't want to do, just like offload it to that employee, and then you see all this other time that's given back to you in growing in your own role in ways that you've always wanted to grow.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I used to be like, oh my gosh, like I have to do these like daily tasks, and but I don't have time for that one thing that I want to level up to. So it's like, okay, I've figured this out. I know my systems. Let me automate it, because anything that can be done, that's done like twice or thrice, can be automated, right? This is in the sense that um, with the human aspect as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget that
Of
part.
course.
But if you can get back all that time to grow to the next level, I think you've done your job really well. Anybody, you can do it personally in your personal life, professional life. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. And that's exciting. Like, especially from a small business perspective, the those monotonous tasks are often they're so critical to like your business process, and they soak up so much time, and it's like, oh, if I just had more time to do this or that. And like we're
Mm-hmm.
getting to that point where now that's accessible,
Yes.
and being able to provide some automation, freeing up your time to then focus on what does it take to to grow yourself, to grow
Yes.
your business, to be more involved in the community, to
Yes.
expand your customer base. Those
Yes.
things are very, very, very cool. And
Yeah.
in a kind of a magical time of watching people go through this process together, right? No,
Right.
I dare say maybe everyone apart from OpenAI, doesn't have it figured out.
Yeah. See, actually, you actually got a really good point because as somebody who's been an entrepreneur for just 2 years right now, it's a really good time to be one. You are already empowered with all these tools. I don't think I would have been as happy as I was if I didn't have some of the tools that are available to me right now. Happy in the sense that I'm able to still spend time with things that I want to do. Like I'm very active in the sense that I love, my yoga classes, my dance class, whatever I need to do in the day to show up the way I want to.
Yeah.
And then still do my job within like, I don't know, 8 hours or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was really scared of being an entrepreneur. Okay. I was really scared of being a business owner.
scary.
It is. But I'm enjoying this because there's so many things to help you. And I feel like if you really figure out, okay, you go through a few months of like talking to customers and, going through one or two use case projects, and then you can figure out that automation. I think it'll do you a big, big favor, any entrepreneur. I'm just talking about how excited I am to be an entrepreneur during this fun time of AI, or just I don't want to talk about AI that much, but I'm just saying like just tools that are available at our disposal
Technology.
compared to like 10 years ago. Yeah, just technology.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's worth a congratulations for taking the step to be an entrepreneur. It is scary, and it's huge. It's a big thing to just walk out there on a plank and take the dive, and you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I really thank all the people that support me, all my mentors, my family, my friends. I think they really, really encourage me. And it's not like, it's definitely not a one woman show. Like everybody's super encouraging, and the valley is also super encouraging. And that's why I'm here too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ridhi, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for watching this In Time Tech podcast. If you'd like to learn more about what we can offer you, please visit our website, intimetech.com, where you'll be able to see the different capabilities and technologies we could provide you in your business. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow us to get more amazing content like this. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.